Younger self, what's your story?
To my younger self, what's your story?
To my younger self.
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 To my younger self, what's your story? To my younger self, what's your story?
Hello and good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? It is so wonderful to see you. My name is Zoe Baraka. Of course, the show is To My Younger Self, where we tell stories from our past that will propel us into the future. It is a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday morning, and I am very, very excited. Listen, hang with me because we're going to be running as always. Listen, where are you watching me from this morning? Greetings to you. Baraka da zua, sanunku da zua, yayade, kakwana lafia. I hope you slept well. It is good to see you. So good to see you. I just greeted you in the Hausa dialect or language, rather, Yakenken, Tuma Tuma, Fuduewala. It is wonderful to see you. I just greeted you in my father tongue, Kasal. It is wonderful to see you. Ansuma to you if you speak Wale or Dabani. Listen, if you join us and you are on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, go into the comment section and say hello. I want to hear you greet me in your native language, okay? Especially if you are African. Most importantly, if you're African, I want to hear from you. Say something to me in your local language. I do want to hear from you. Ndinao to you if you speak Ewe. Wezo to you, Leke. It is wonderful, wonderful to see you, all of our brothers and sisters, storytelling connoisseurs all the way up in the Volta region of Ghana. Welcome to the show. Etiseng Akwaba Wanteden Yamawachi. It is wonderful to see you. I just greeted you in a few variations of the Akan language. Thank you so much for joining us. Sawubonani to you if you speak Zulu, our South African friends. Listen, next week, South Africa is representing, so do not, I repeat, do not watch it after. You want to represent us live, okay? Ibella to you, Ibiokebare. If you speak Moshi, I just greeted you. Te Oyo Tang, keepers of the land of Accra, Ghana. Wonderful to see you. Thank you for joining us. Lale to you. If you speak Chadian Arabic from the bottom of Africa, we greet you. We greet you. Intuam Afe to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Assalamu alaikum to all of our friends who speak Arabic. How are you doing? Ekaro to you. If you speak Yoruba, our Nigerian friends, what's up? You guys always show up strong. We love you. Thank you. Nagadef to you if you speak Wolof. All of our Senegalese friends, what's up with you guys? It is wonderful to see you. Jambo, habari gani, habari yawasiboy to you. Karibu sana if you speak Swahili. What's up with you guys? Say something to us in the comment section. We want to hear from you. Kotong to you, Amohelang to you if you speak Sesotho, Botswana, what's going on? Nyasi to you, Aloy Domilake, do you speak Bisa or Busanga, people of Burkina Faso, and of course, Ghana. We thank you so much for always showing up and showing up strong. Thank you for joining us. Kotoli to you, to all of our friends who speak Fufoldi. We thank you for joining us. Akei to you, to our Creole speaking friends all the way in Haiti. Bomdia to you if you speak Portuguese, but especially if you're an African who speaks Portuguese. See what I did there? Bonjour to you. Buongiorno. Buenos dias. Imaraba. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. Listen, don't get all of this goodness just for yourself, okay? Share, share, share. Tell your friends that Wanderlust Ghana is here, okay? And we're about to get in and share some stories and kind of just delve in so you do not want to miss it. I want to see who is here already. Kaspa, how are you doing? Habari gani to you? Yes, Jumbo. Jemima, it is wonderful to see you, my dear. Ojeko, tell your friends to tell your friends to tell your friends who may have enemies to join the show, okay? Again, my name is Zoe Baraka, and I am your storytelling curator for the day. So jump in, jump in, jump in. Alrighty, so over the last week or so, there's been a kind of a wanderlust frenzy that has gripped the continent of Africa. It took us by storm, and a couple of people who banded together because they caught the bug of wanderlust. They drove all the way from Accra to London for a cause. Okay, do not lose that perspective. And today, one of their team members or their representative is here to talk to us, about the journey and tell us some stories. And we're just going to get into it, okay? Now, this person is my dear, dear good friend, somebody I call Boss or sometimes Bossu. I don't know where I got that from, but he's really a boss, okay? His name is Richard Anim. He is also a To My Younger Self alumni because he is a storytelling legend. He's been here before. He has an eclectic background ranging from insurance and risk management, corporate finance, early stage ventures, academia, oil and gas, and now he's into ed tech, okay? Richard runs a firm currently deploying edtech solutions across Africa. Now, last year, Richard and his friends dared to defy some odds because I know some things that were going on in the background, and they embarked on a trip that took them all the way to Mount Kilimanjaro. And this probably was some kind of a recce to kind of foretell what was about to happen this year. And they have, over the years, been involved in long road trips, doing all kinds of things. They did a whole recce going from Accra to Togo, or I believe Cote d'Ivoire. And now they've done the 10,000 kilometer trip from Accra to London. My personal interpretation is very, very simple. These are a group of very capable, highly skilled in their crafts and fields who have chosen to broaden their horizon with a certain, shall we say, je ne sais quoi, by satisfying the wanderlust in their spirit man. That's really it. And they found a good cause for it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, and without me yakking on and trying to tell stories in between my intro, please, please, please do me the biggest favor, the highest honor of welcoming Mr. Richard Anim to the show. My boss.
How are you?
I am doing very well. Listen, you are so relaxed. I just want to be in your space. You know what I mean?
I'm chilled, man. I'm chilled.
You're
I'm
so
chilled.
chill.
I'm chilled like is it pito or palm wine?
Hey, palm wine. We'll go with the palm wine. We'll
Go
go
with the palm wine. Good stuff. How have you been? It's been a while.
Say that again, sir.
And I'm saying, how have you been? It's been a while. Just
It's
when I
been a
was
while,
hoping to
sir,
catch
but
you in
that's
New York,
because it's
you
hard.
moved to
I know.
Minneapolis.
Yes, but that's the only movement I've done. It's hard to catch up with you, man. You're
Right.
like jet setting and jet flying all around all the
It's
time,
just
and I'm just like,
yeah.
what's up? So
It's
I
just
can't catch up with you.
yeah. It's just a phase that we're going through. Yeah.
A very
We're
good
trying to build a
face.
business. Yeah, we're
I
trying to build a
know.
business across Africa. So it's lots of traveling, lots of living out of your suitcase. Yeah, but as you guys in America say, it is what it is.
It is what it is, but listen, joining your wanderlust together with your job is the dream. You know what I mean? For someone who enjoys traveling, and I dare say you enjoy traveling, and you get to do it whilst on the job. Come on, that's the best of both worlds, isn't it?
I mean, the best way to travel on a plane is when you enter and you turn left. Okay.
First class, I mean.
Not cattle class. But hey, we eventually get there. When you're doing business development across Africa, yes, there are some direct routes, and there are some routes that like your normal Matatu or Trotro or whatever. I mean, on Sunday I was in Accra, changed in Lome, went through Brazzaville before I eventually ended up in so a flight that should take 6-7 hours, sometimes because of connections, because of budgets and so on, you've got to go. You got to go.
Man.
So yeah, that's what we've been doing. I think, funny enough, I've been doing this trip since July last year. I've been in Joburg. This is my 12th time of being in Joburg.
Right.
I've been in Eswatini 4 times.
Oh my God.
Lesotho, Botswana, Zim. I think I've got Zimbabwe down the line, Zambia down the line. I mean, we're building a Pan-African footprint, and the nature of our work, you physically have to be in front of the client to pitch. You can't do this by WhatsApp or as
or
much
a phone
as
call or Zoom. Yeah.
We're Africans. We like to
we like to commiserate and eat
and
the little food together, and then do that thing where we tell you go and come back sometime.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But listen, you guys, and I'm told, or I think I know that the rest of the team is being hosted by the Ghana High Commission.
Yes.
We want to say thank you to them for doing that. And so that's why you are the representative here today. Of course, we would have loved to have them here with us, but you were there from jump, right?
They are being fitted, and they're enjoying all the glitz and the glamour in London. I had to skip that European leg and head to Joburg for work. So yeah, but I mean, I can share our thoughts, how this whole thing came to be about with you up until the point when they crossed over. We parted in Rabat, at the Ghana High Commission in Rabat, Ghana Embassy in Rabat. We paid a courtesy call on the ambassador, and then 2 of us flew back to Accra. I continued to Joburg, but yes, they managed to cross over to Spain, Switzerland, and then finally Calais to London.
To London. What an incredible feat. And of course, we know this is not nowhere in all of your appearances. Some of us were hardcore in trying to make sure certain reporting houses got the message. We were tagging BBC and CNN. Like
absolutely, I saw your tag. You were on it. Yeah, thank you.
We were on it like white on rice, just going hard. And
absolutely.
But in none of your appearances have you said that this, you guys were the first people to do this.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Yes.
If you look at all the documentaries and so on, there are lots of Europeans that have done it from Europe to the tip of South Africa, the Cape of Good Hope. I mean, there are lots of British, Danes. In fact, when we're going through the Western Sahara, we actually saw a few guys riding bikes through. So people do it. It's not as to the reversal from Accra or Africa to Europe. I'm only aware of one guy from Ghana, who incidentally I think is from your hometown of Boku. Adamu, I think he's called.
Right, that's what we're being told.
We have never ever stated anywhere that we're the first to do it. Listen, we're not in competition with anybody. We're just a bunch of guys, just having a jolly good time and raising money whilst doing it. So
whilst doing it, exactly.
It's a big space in what we want to do. To support primarily Ghanaian kids and also African kids based on the footprint that we are building, to bring them, to prepare them for the future of work.
Right.
And there's so many ways in which we do it, which hopefully as we go along I can share.
Right.
But this is really to give exposure to us, the work we do, and use it to raise money for that's our mission. And yes, there's banter, there is some negative energy and so, but we take it all in our stride. And
because you guys, you have tough skin already to begin with. So here's my question for you. On To My Younger Self, we're always advocating storytelling, but today is going to be a little bit of some kind of an interview, question and answer type thing, which is probably the very first time it's ever happening onto my younger self, only because it's you, Richard. Only because it's you, and also probably the last time it will ever happen. But so here's my question for you. What was, or well, since the journey is still going, because you guys, one of your taglines is that the journey is the destination. So what is the impetus for this, for Wanderlust, really? Yeah.
Okay, so for this particular gig, as we like to call it, it was primarily to drive from Accra to London. But bear in mind, this idea was conceived about 2019. It's just a family program. Can I talk about what inspired it? Yeah, I mean, a decent single malt, a bottle of single malt has a way of inspiring and incentivizing
all kinds of things.
I mean, okay. So from our consulting practice, we have an idea generation session, and idea generation. When we spend half a day with you, we'll come up with 100 ideas, which we can guarantee that about 4 or 5 will be bankable. That's the kind of work we do. So one evening, Kwabena Peprah and I just savoring. I'm not sure what bottle we were dealing with. But this random thought was like, guys, you know, we could actually drive to London. And suddenly he was like, yeah, the guy pulls out a laptop, opens an Excel spreadsheet. Okay, my Kwabena is my brother from another mother. In fact, let me quickly tell you how we met. We were both in Dubai. I was in Ibis and he was in another hotel, I think Holiday Inn. And he posted a picture of beer in Let's Eat, one of the, what you call it. I'm like, and it shows where he is. I'm like, dude, where are you? I'd never met him.
Wow.
I never even communicated with him on Let's Eat.
Oh my God.
And it was like, I'm here. I'm like, what the heck? I'm next door. I mean, it's like, come over. So we actually met over beer. So that goes to why a lot of our ideas are generated around
over beer. Wow. And but, some very fine single malt.
Yes. and since then we've been virtually brothers, and we've done all sorts of things. We've traveled. So this idea was, we curated these ideas around 2019. Then COVID hit. We couldn't travel.
Yes.
So we traveled around Ghana. We probably did Ghana about 10 times. We did
my God.
all the 4 cardinal points from north, south, east, west. We did all the way to Elubo, crossed over into Ivory Coast. In fact, this year we've done Ivory Coast about 2-3 times already.
Wow.
We've done Lome twice. We had to go through that process to test the border crossings, because it was important. What sort of documents you require? Laissez-passer or whatever. I mean,
yeah, laissez-passer.
So we did all that. So it's taken us about 3 to 4 years of planning to get to. We didn't just get off on a frolic, what you call it, a joyride to just drive to. No. And I was talking to your Kwabena Peprah's Excel sheet, everything as much as down to the brake parts, brake fluids, oil filters, which hotels. Google Map was fantastic, pointing out where the speeds, the number of kilometers we would do a day. I mean, I joke that he's got OCD, but his attention to detail, his attention to detail is phenomenal. So shout out to him as he savors whiskey with the High Commissioner in London today.
Yes.
So that's how it started. And we did lots of trial runs. COVID time, we couldn't fly anywhere anyway. So just getting to know Ghana as well. And from my work around education, it also gave me a side to look into schools, public school systems, private school systems, what is happening on the ground, how far are they from technology, how can we support them drive their agenda. So there's a course which we'll talk about, but we use this as a catalyst to bring attention to what we do. Somebody was saying, why did you guys fly? I'm like, well, if we had flown 6-7 hours to Heathrow, you wouldn't be talking to us, would you?
Yeah, and also, don't people do that every day?
Yeah, how many people
have you not done that like 15 times already?
Absolutely. How many people actually drive to London or Europe on a daily basis? So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, Richard, tell me about this picture. Who is in this picture?
So from on my left, the guy in the green T-shirt, that's Kwabena Ayirebi. Kwabena Ayirebi is a director at AfriExim.
Okay.
He's 50 this year, so one of his aims was to support schools across Ghana in partnership with a British charity called Edu Sports. You know what a sport is? I mean, a sport is usually a drinking bar where we go and drink.
You know what? I didn't want to assume. I just
yeah, but he flipped it to make it Edu Sports.
Yes.
And then that's yours truly after.
The original Don Papa himself.
And then there's Kwabena Peprah, who I was just
Accra
talking
ambassador.
Yeah. And then you've got Nanefia. Nanefia is what do you call a Shecanic.
A Shecanic. Yes.
Yeah, so a lady mechanic who's got this vision to build a training school for lady mechanics.
Wow. Wow. I think we lost Richard. Hopefully we get him back very soon. There you go. Okay.
Where did you miss me?
You were talking about Nanefia, who has a dream of building a school to train lady mechanics.
Right. So the lady mechanics, the core objective of that project is that they will then focus on lady car owners and provide specialist support.
Wow.
I mean, globally, lady car drivers, according to the statistics, are better drivers. Their cars are in better condition. If you put it on the market, you get a premium and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are not going to fight about this thing. It's a fairly
unless your name is Baraka, then maybe I fly like a little chihuahua. So
yeah. So that's that. And then there's a young 18-year-old Quincy. That's
my
Quincy
hero.
Peters. Yeah.
Yes.
Phenomenal guy. Made me miss my governor.
Oh my God.
I mean, from day one, the guy was raring to go. Phenomenal guy. He's in George Mason, actually. He's in George Mason, going to his second year. And that's Kwame Peprah. So on this trip, we had 3 brothers: the good, the bad, and the not so ugly. So that's Kwabena Peprah. Then next to Quincy is Kwame Peprah. Kwame Peprah and Kwabena Peprah run Phoenix Realty. They are into real estate developments.
Yes.
They've got a new development, the Blay,
yes.
which we're also pushing to market for them. Then that's Franklin Peters. That's Quincy's dad. And then Kojo Saka is next. And then Kofi Peprah, that's the third of the Peprah.
The third of the Peprahs. Wow.
There was also a Joe Appa. I think when we took this picture, he was stuffing his face in the breakfast. What do you call it? This is Sunyani, Usbet Hotel in Sunyani.
Wow.
Shout out to them. They hosted us and gave us decent rates. If you haven't tasted a Kobe pizza, Kobe for the other Africans, salted fish.
Wow.
It's like anchovies or whatever, but senior fish.
Senior fish, Hankasa. Yeah.
At the top of the pyramid. I mean, it's tilapia. It's really salted tilapia that they use for that pizza. And in fact, we actually fly Kobe pizza from Sunyani to Accra.
I've seen those. Yeah.
We like to promote businesses and support businesses. So use bets if you're going to be any part of Sunyani. That's the place. So this is a team.
Wow.
That's set off from Accra, Sunyani, and then we proceeded.
What an incredible, incredible group of people. It is so awe-inspiring. And I know already that there's a lot of people who are suddenly just saying in their minds, it is doable. It is possible.
Absolutely.
You can do it. And you've just talked to us about what it takes to get into this kind of thing and all the causes that you've tied, to this. And we're going to talk about the causes in a minute. But so I want us to talk a little bit about, I mean, I'm sure there are other routes that you can take from Ghana to London, isn't there?
Absolutely. I mean, you could have gone
so what informed this one?
Purely for security reasons. If you look at the top of Ghana, Ivory Coast, Togo, and so on, the southern countries. If you look at the top, there's Burkina Faso is having problems. Niger is having problems. Mali as well. We could have just cut through Burkina and then carried on. But we decided to take the longer routes. We didn't go through. So we went from Ghana, slept at Sunyani, and then crossed into Ivory Coast the following day, Bouake, and stayed in Bouake overnight. Then the following day, we crossed into Mali. Mali, we stayed in Bamako. And then we moved from Bamako all the way to a border town called Case. Stayed overnight in Case. And then we moved from Case. We stopped in Case because it was closer to the Senegal border. And if you know anything about African borders, it gets quite hectic in the mornings.
Yes.
So we needed to position ourselves very early in the mornings at borders so that we can. So we moved from Case, crossed into Senegal. I have to talk about the fantastic roads we encountered. We started feeling sorry for ourselves. Good old Tema.
Wow.
Good old Accra Tema. Good old Accra Tema. What do you call it?
Motorway.
It's terrible.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but these roads in Senegal, all the way from the border to Dakar, first class roads.
Wow.
And they were told, okay, Ghana decided that we're not going to toll our roads for whatever reason, but these were told, and a very interesting experience on those roads. So we got into Dakar around about 2-3 o'clock. Checked in our hotels, grabbed dinner. The following day, we spent the whole day in Dakar, just sorting out the cars, replacing brake parts, oil filters, and so on. And I think about driving on some of those roads. That's definitely the Bamako to Dakar roads. No, Bamako to the border. Is that the roads are so terrible that you got to brake a lot. Okay,
wow.
And the more you brake, the more impact it has on your
vehicle,
on your vehicle and the consumables. So Senegal, a full day to sort all the cars out. Very early in the morning, we left to Mauritania. Mauritania, we get there, and our chosen border, after processing us and charging us all the money they will charge and everything, we get to the Mauritanian side and they're like, guys, you cannot use this side. Even though in all our research and everything, it pointed to the fact that that was a route that could be used. So they returned us back to another border crossing called Rosso. And that is where our first major curveball we encountered. So on the Senegal side, we went through that whole process of getting another visa and being okay. One interesting fact is that along the West African coast, the countries we went through, the Ghana card worked perfectly. It's actually an ECOWAS ID card. I know people are playing politics with it and so on,
but it is good.
Yeah, it worked. The Ghana card worked. So there was no need for visas. I mean, West African, ideally, as far as ECOWAS protocols are concerned, is they call it the free movement of goods and services. There's nothing free about the movement.
Oh, God.
Every single border, you'll be fleeced.
A tiny little bit.
Yeah, unauthorized fees and so on. So we get to Rosso, Mauritania, and that's where our problem started. Even though we had an official letter clearing us from our consul who had managed to arrange all these things with the Mauritanian authorities, the scoundrels and criminals at the police at that port.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you're budgeting for these things, any amount that you put down, make sure you double it.
Wow.
At Rosso, for instance, a 60 euro visa became 120 euros.
My God.
The cars, you require a special license and document for the cars double. I mean, the Guru Boys, I don't know if you know Guru Boys, but they are alive and well at all border crossings. Whether they facilitate or not, after following you around for the whole day, they will demand something. But the interesting experience with us, for us at Russell, was that two of our cars had tinted windows. And according to the police, according to their Road Traffic Act, that was a traffic offense. I said, no problem, fine us, let us go. So they took us to the police station, the compound, locked up those two cars. The other cars were out, by the way, because those that had tint got wind of what was happening to us earlier, the first two.
And then they started to take it off.
Before, yeah. So, but we were caught up in it. So, went to the police station. They said, "Look, strip the tents. We're going to find you. We'll find you and detain your vehicles for 48 hours."
Oh my God!
This is a Friday afternoon. Okay,
but you're not even from Mauritania.
You don't really across Africa. You don't want to get into an altercation with a policeman on a Friday afternoon because
oh my God,
there is no court to hear.
Monday.
There is no court to hear your matter, and if you're not careful, if you get as mouthy as I can get and aggressive, you will be thrown in jail. So I mean, all sorts of back and forth. The reason why I keep talking about the criminality of the whole thing was that they didn't even log us into the system.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, their police system, they didn't log us that we had been arrested, we had been fined, they had detained us and so on. Because we had the Honorable Consul in Nouakchott. Mm-hmm. I mean, was threatened. Where the heck are you guys? I mean, we're waiting for you. Your fufu is ready at 1 p.m. And I mean, what's going on? And he started making calls, went to the equivalent of the IGP to lodge a complaint. And so it eventually discovered where we were. So they are detained at between 7 to 8 hours.
Wow.
And the heat there is not, this is summer desert type kind of heat. A few of us are either close to 50 or over 50, and we are managing all sorts of long-term conditions. And one of the things that triggers all sorts of complications, usually stress.
It's stress and the heat.
And no food, no water. I mean, how much plantain chips and groundnuts can you chew? So it was quite a stressful dehydration. So I mean, at some point our peas were bronze. I mean, it's that's how serious it was. So I have nothing positive or commendable to talk about Mauritania, at least at the port of entry, because in any country, when you visit any country, your impressions are formed at your point of entry.
Yes.
Either the airport or land border or seaport or whatever. And these guys made a fine job of confirming that not in this lifetime would I ever go. I mean, there are other road trips planned the same route that we just heard in the news today that the Honorable Consul had lodged a formal complaint with the government of Mauritania, and they are conducting an investigation. So I'm not sure, African investigations, I'm not sure.
That could take a couple more years. Yeah.
We are not holding our breath. Hope springs eternal, as they say.
Yes, yes. Wow. Wow. But you know, one thing I'm very excited about is that you didn't just sit on your laurels and say, well, this is something we can do. You thought about it and you executed it and you did it well. You know what I mean? Which for me is the excellence of the African spirit. It tells me we can do it. Maybe we choose not to do it.
Yeah, I'm okay. So I mean, planning, testing, an iterative process of testing. The only thing even though we knew the Mauritania Russell story, 7 to 8 hours was not factored in our planning. Maximum 2-3 hours will be gone.
Wow.
In fact, there was a Nigerian Rotarian who rode a bike from London to Abuja who encountered similar. I mean, he actually got into fights with them. They nearly shot him.
Oh my God!
Eventually, he paid them and they let him off. So let's think about the African spirit and excellence and so on. I mean, in my work in EdTech, there is a school, a girls' school, Methodist girls' school in Mamfe in the Eastern region. I grew up in Mamfe in the Eastern region, that have gone out and won the World Robotics Competition twice.
Wow!
Not once, twice.
Twice.
MTN is now building a facility, a smart facility for them to cater for their training and so on in that part of Ghana, the Eastern region. So for me, same Africans go to Harvard and Yale and all the top schools.
Yes.
We go. I mean, we go and whoop their behinds. I mean, but the difference between a kid based out of say, let me say, give me a town in Boku. I mean, a hamlet or something. The difference in that space to maybe a kid based in Sefchiyu or so, or the back streets of Limpopo, and so on. The difference is always a conversation about access, equity, and inclusion. Okay, because if you can give any African kid access, equity, and inclusion, and the support, we can compete with anybody globally. Anybody globally, and sometimes even beat them.
Yes.
You know, how do you? I'm not sure if we were born in the States or all those immigrants that end up in different parts of
I'm an immigrant through and through.
Yeah, so immigrants. I lived in the UK for about 15 years. I was an immigrant. I went to some decent schools and so on, and held my own. The difference between that system and our system is a system that works. That says that if you've got to be at work at 9 a.m., even if you've got to chase the bus, if you've got to chase the bus in winter and slip and sit and see the bus leaving you, you've got to do it. You know, that is not the kind of system we have in Africa, where a 9 o'clock appointment could be 9, 9:30, 10, 11.
12 o'clock. 9, 9:30.
And when you book an appointment at the 9 o'clock appointment, that's when the person's actually jumping into a shower.
Yes.
You know, so there are systemic issues that we face in Africa, and that's the difference. But if you can give our students, our youth, the support, access, equity, inclusion, exposure, they can. So this thing. So bring it back to our project or our gig. We planned, we rehearsed, we trialed it. We even the team members, and naturally when you announce these things, adrenaline is pumping. About 100 people say they will go, but eventually they all become casualties. And consistently,
man downs. God.
No. Consistently, it's the same core team that happens to. I mean, we climbed Kilimanjaro last year with the same team. Some of the team didn't do this trip, but it's a lot of practice, a lot of so the bonded for students of human capital development and so on. This thing about team building high performance teams, the norming, forming, and storming stages, the idiots that emerge in the team. I mean, we had a full works. I mean, we
went through all of them. We went
through all the different emotions. People feeling that other people are just chilling in their condition when they are fighting border patrol. I was chilling actually, because if they unleashed me on the police, I would have.
I think you would have probably been the one detained.
No, I would have provoked them unnecessarily. So they kept me away.
Wow. Now, Richard, talk to us about these cars. Can I tell you, when I saw this and I saw the Black Star Square in the background, it just gave me, and I don't know if any one of you in the audience, who is watching us, all of you, welcome, by the way, both on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. Thank you so much for hanging in here with us. I don't know if any of you felt this, but there was this sense of pride, but also suddenly that adrenaline boost. I just said, I want to do this. I can do this. What went into picking these cars? Where are these cars from? Because I saw some cars in there. I was like, my goodness.
These are cars owned by members of the group.
Wow.
Not all of them made it. So in the group, on the final trip, there were two Land Cruisers, one diesel, one petrol. There was a Raptor. And then there was a Lexus, and then there was a Mercedes G63. These are, listen, we're Ghanaians. We bleed Ghana, red, gold, green, and black. Did you hear the joke that Ghana is so hot that the black star represents Shito? The red, gold, green represents different types of pepper, and the black star is even Shito. But anyway, we bleed the colors of our flag. We eat Ghana. I mean, yes, as cosmopolitan as we are, as exposed as wherever we find ourselves, we're repping Ghana. We would have loved to have a Ghana assembled car in the mix, but despite all our efforts, that's another story. We've let it slide. I mean, we've moved on. But we definitely wanted to pitch this as a Ghana story, primarily Ghana, but also African pride.
Yes.
Demonstrating that if you put us together as a team,
we can do it.
We can deliver. There's this old narrative about a broom, where one stick just sort of can break down, but when you put
all of them together,
it's an African story, and I don't think we work in teams and build stuff like we could. So this is just one way of demonstrating that guys can come together with all our challenges, with all our remember different people from different backgrounds, probably different creeds. Our whole outlook in life is radically different.
Yes.
Different professionals, real estate guys, bankers, the conservative, tight bankers. They tell you that they are looking after people's money, so they can't be throwing it out willy-nilly. So we had two bankers, we had two real estate guys. I'm a teacher.
I like the way you threw that in there so casually. Like I'm just
I'm just a humble, lowly teacher. Who else was in? Franklin Peters and his son. His son is George Mason. And Franklin actually owns Inkit. It's quite a huge graphic design, billboards type kind of thing.
Wow. Was he responsible for all of this? The brand,
the designs and the branding and so on. Yes, Franklin did that. Yeah.
Wow.
We're going to launch a merchandising range to support our fundraising efforts as well. Who else was in the team? Then there was Joe Appa. Joe runs a company that's focused on LEDs. And Kwabena Peprah works with his brother.
Right.
Kwabena Peprah in the real estate. And Kojo Peprah also works for the central bank. Then Shecanic. I told you about Shecanic.
Yes, and we got Shecanic. That girl.
I think we should push her. We should support her and get her going.
Incredible work done. I mean, that girl is like, she's got a whole vibe that
solid girl. Yeah.
Yes. And the fact that she was the only woman, not to say that women couldn't do it. I'm pretty sure if a bunch of women came together,
absolutely. Last year again, I was in Joburg and I chanced on two women driving an old Mercedes, a yellow Mercedes, from Joburg all the way to Namibia or something.
Wow.
Yeah. Two women and Mercedes. You can Google them or look in Facebook. I mean,
are they the Merck sisters?
I'm not sure what they're called,
They
but
nicknamed them the Merck sisters.
okay,
At some
okay,
point, it was such an
yeah,
incredible African story. So
yeah,
obviously
yeah,
it made the rounds, and
yeah,
wow.
yeah. I saw them at the Indaba Hotel before they kicked off on that had breakfast with them. I happened to be Joburg. I saw the story, and Sunday, nothing much happening. Went to them, but anyway. So that's Shecanic. All the ladies in your network who have cars in Ghana to
Yes,
support, and
guys.
so she's going to train lady mechanics to push that
Wow.
agenda.
Wow. Which is a very good thing, because it kind of also tells you that, at least when I was growing up, and I don't know if you had the same, they were only pushing office jobs on us. So if you didn't want to be a lawyer or a banker, or some kind of place where you can get in a car and drive and have a suit on, then whatever it is that you chose, you must have not been smart enough, like vocational
Um,
and all of that.
it's
And
it's a relic of our colonial
yes.
mindset, where you have to understand that the colonialists built us and trained us to just build empire. We were just workhorses for empire, so that they'll train you to work in public sector. And
While they went away and did the other part that was actually the most important part. Yes.
The East India Mercantile Company, for instance, was a truly entrepreneurial company.
Yes.
Building franchises and trading posts, and this whole, they actually support this whole slave trade thing all the way to the Far East and Americas and so on. So from a colonial perspective, that's how we were trained, and our parents didn't know any better. My brother, for instance, was a fantastic woodworker when he was in junior high school, but we push you to go into university, and if you don't make it, they say, so we say something in the tree parlance, they say there's a difference between oye and udi. You are, and I don't know how that udine doesn't translate nicely.
It doesn't translate well. Yeah.
But there's a difference between somebody who is a doctor, he is a lawyer, he is a oye, okay. Udi Kodi teacher, Kodi police, Kodi, there's a difference between
oh my
God.
God.
Really think about it. Our technical vocational spaces have been abandoned. I don't know whose idea it was to convert technical vocational spaces into technical universities and end up even offering liberal arts courses. So if you look at, I can talk about Ghana, I don't know about other African countries. If you think about it, when we need solid professional work men, these professionals that will do your bricklayers, electricians, masons, plumbers, and so on.
Oh my
we brought them from the French. We brought them from Ivory Coast, Togo. Some of the best fashion guys, the tailors and so on, come from Ivory Coast or Benin and so on. Why? Because we've collapsed our technical vocational spaces. Lack of investment. Well, this current government put in about $1 billion US in technical vocational, reformed some of the buildings, refurbished some of the buildings, and put in some equipment. But there's always this issue of sustainability.
Right.
What happens? And teachers, for instance, whether they are fit for purpose, whether they can deploy relevant content that meets the dictates of Education 4.0, Industry 4.0. So I'm not even sure where we got.
We just started talking about Shecanic, and you know how it is. Sometimes,
African excellence, supporting.
Wow. So, I'm going to throw a question to the audience. If you had a chance to do an expedition in the next year or so, first of all, who will be on your team? And second, where would you want to go? I mean, London has been done. Can we do Accra to America? I don't know. Accra to where else do you want to go? But let's make sure that your jump off point is always somewhere in Ghana. I'm very, very curious where you are dreaming. I really, really do think that now the Wanderlust Ghana people, you guys have just ignited so much dreaming that it's just possible. Now, the other thing you guys have done is that you tied a cause to, you know, this trip, and I'm very, very excited. As of yesterday in the afternoon, or well, evening here, you guys had made $13,000, and the end game is $100,000. You know, so I'm kind of just trying to bring this up so that you can give us more insight. And of course, if you look on the ticker, we've told you how to donate and where to donate. You know, we're cheering these guys on. We're saying this is an incredible thing. Even the ones that are throwing shade are still cheering them on. You know, very privately. Somebody kind of threw shade on my boss's spectacles. I mean, seriously, why? Why?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
There's a reason I wear my spectacles the way I wear it, and I'm not
Do you
sure.
care to share?
People should stew in whatever they want to stew in.
In the self-deprecating.
Somebody even said that before I realized that. Well, the shade is that the cars don't belong to us. That's why we can't auction them. The other one is like my specs belong in a museum, the Smithsonian or something. And if I'm not even careful, the way the shades are going, I'll probably end up. People will say I don't even own the specs. But hey, I mean, it's all good fun. It's all banter. Even the negative vibes, we take them in our stride.
Exactly.
And Elizabeth Eliza Jamrock has started compiling all what do you call it? Compiling all the different all the different quirky comments, and I mean, people that don't have an idea of their geography,
right?
And saying Ghana borders Spain. That's why we're able to.
Oh God!
Somebody was saying that. What was the other one? Oh, the cars. There's no way we can do 10,000 kilometers with the cars looking fresh. Were we washing the cars?
So like, what if you were?
like duh, you know.
Oh,
there are too many, and for me, it excites me. I mean, we are even being offered. Somebody's offering their sisters for their hand in marriage.
Oh Lord, y'all are married men. Just so we know.
And you'll be amazed the kind of requests that are coming inbox. But hey, I guess the interesting thing about this is that we even though we had an idea that we'll raise money for this particular cause, which is just a one-off, we're doing 100,000 for this, but we're also looking at a bigger picture, which is a fund that is a recurring fund, is sustainable, that we can use to support rural kids. Because of the work I do, I mean, I am in different countries looking at different schools in remote areas and so on. And when I see where some of my nieces and nephews in maybe a Ghana GIS or a Roman Ridge or
St. John's and Achimota.
Their parents can afford an iPad, $1,000 iPad or whatever. These kids lack for nothing. I mean, they are doing the coding, the robotics, introducing them to AI, and so they're doing stuff. Now I look at the divide between them and my nieces and nephews in Kukrantumi or Keji or
Boku Central, yes, Tamale,
wherever you're, people like to front that they are all from cities, but
we're not though. None of us.
Everybody is from some village or hamlet somewhere.
Unless you're a Ga person, then there's a big difference.
But even the Gas also have their villages.
Yes, exactly.
They have their villages. Right smack bang in East Legon is La Bawalishi, which is a village.
It's a village,
right in the middle of so. And the levels of deprivation that you find in cities, in these little clusters, in East Legon alone, you will find a Galaxy. You will find forgotten the Muslim school. There's several British whatever schools and so on. Next to them, you will see Labawalishi early.
Wow.
With a deprivation that is, we've been on the case of mines in some of the projects that we do. Like, look, when I go into a mine like a Newmont or so on, right on the premises, there's a school for the kids, and these schools will rival any GIS or Roman Ridge or whatever. Now, drive from that mine where the mine is extracting the resources from a kilometer to you come across schools under trees, schools with buildings with no roofs, kids with no what you call it. It's a tale of two cities when you're comparing. Yes. So in the mine's defense, they will say that, well, we pay our royalties. What your people do with the royalties is not really our business. But it's also important for the mines to also have a view of environments in which they're. If they're not going to pay the royalties direct to people, how can they invest in projects like this to support bridging the digital poverty divide? So Kwabena is 50 this year, and he's doing this an epic journey. He's raising money, 100,000. We're all supporting him to do that. But next is a Wanderlust Digital Catalyst Fund. Okay, so Wanderlust Digital, we're raising $1 million over. I mean, we haven't put a timeline. So all of us run businesses. We will seed it with CSR funds from our companies. We will then look at our various partners that we work with, Microsoft, Google, whatever, for them to chip in. We're also looking at whatever Wanderlust events that we hold, whatever trips that we do, we raise funds for that, put in that fund. What else? Merchandising and so on. So the clever people are the clever, smart people.
Background, and they're working, and they're working. Wow.
Yeah. So that's what's happening.
You know, I'm very excited because this is not just a group of people who are like, listen, we have itchy feet. So, you know, we were going to just travel and show people that, listen, we've got it made, all of that stuff, because that's the tendency. Sometimes you see, you know, people traveling and you think that they've got it all made. No, there is a reason behind it. And the reason behind this particular travel is one that is very laudable and very, very commendable. These guys are not just getting in cars and going, yeah, let's just go. First, you heard about the planning and the attention to detail that went into it. And then second, you're now hearing about what they're putting, you know, they're putting their feet literally where their mouth is. Or is it the other way around? I don't know. There's a Chi word for it or a sentence for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we do have itchy feet. Some of us have had, we joke that we have injections, needles that have been stuck in our bums when we send our pressure. So we got to.
You just gotta move. You just gotta.
Yeah. So we do have itchy feet. We find it exciting. We like to be on the move. I mean, you cannot stay in Accra all year without getting some undiagnosed mental health condition. I mean,
oh God!
You have to get out of Accra.
You have to get out.
All the road trips that we do, as soon as we start approaching the toll booths to enter Accra, then we all get upset. So it's really an activity or an exercise that we do. I mean, there's something we call funeral tourism, where some of us may lose our parents or family or whatever. We've gone to Navrungo for a funeral, and it's become a road trip. We've gone to, I mean, wherever it is, we like to say that we are supporting the local economy with the beer and the confirm is guinea fowl for those that are.
Yes, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, so we like to say that funerals generate a certain sub economy and stimulate the sub economy in towns and villages that we find ourselves in.
Yeah. Wow. Listen, guys, so let's support Kwabena in this epic journey that he's on. The thing that I wanted to pull out for you guys is just so you see in picture form what your should I say, let me take this banner off real quick so we can see it. So for Kwabena's Edu Spots, you get to see training and spot visits. You see buying of tablets and app development, and then core costs. This is what your money is going to be doing. So yeah, you couldn't travel with them. You wish you could. You couldn't get in the vans and in the trucks and all that with them. You wish you could. I wish I could. But what else can we do to actually push this cause? Because after the conversation is said and done, I'm still rooting for CNN to reach out and say, can you guys come into the studio and let's talk more about this? I'm still looking forward to when they say, hey, we're looking for CNN heroes and you guys are on the list. There's so much we can dream about. But here is the real core of it. What will your donation support? And I just wanted to show you guys so you see exactly where your money is going. The one thing I know about the Richard Anims of the world, or really just Richard, is the accountability and integrity that follows the name. Your money will do it good.
Yeah, I mean, Edu Sports is a British charity. They've been in Ghana for a number of years, I think 7 or more years. They are a registered charity. You can find their accounting and so on there. What we also set out to do was to engage one of the big 4 accounting firms so that all the funds will go to them.
Wow.
And then they can manage. I mean, we present a project, they do a due diligence, and then they disperse. So the money funds are not coming to our personal account.
You guys hear that? Wow.
We glory be to God, and by the grace of God, we are not hungry.
Amen. And you never will. Yes.
Yeah, we've built business. I mean, people say, "Oh, we are what do you call it? We're comfortable and so on." I'm like, okay, there's that bit as well, but come and see the liabilities looking at me with one corner of their eye on my balance sheet.
As you're looking at it through your glasses.
Yeah, I'm looking at it and it's also looking at me. So it's not like we've got yes, I mean we've run significant projects with decent whatever, but we also have our own challenges in a unique kind of way that we're managing. So
wow. So guys, the one thing I want you to do for us this morning, and I thought I would just do it live with you guys, is to please grab your phones, because we all have these things, right? And there's this QR code that you literally can just click on, and can I tell you, it opens right up. It's like magic, literally. And I wish I could show you my phone, but you get to see all of it, and it's right there. It takes you right to the donation spot, okay? And it tells you how much has been raised, how much they're doing, how many people have supported. And at the moment, they're at 11%. What we're looking for is 100%. You know that I'm a big advocate of anything that supports the development of Ghana and, of course, the development of Africa. And so, yes, we're telling good stories and we're cheering them on, we're bantering, but let's also put our money there. Listen, if it's 1 Ghana cedis, put it in there. 5 Ghana cedis, put it in there. 100 Ghana cedis, 5,000 Ghana cedis. I'm always saying we're not saying no to $1 million. Also, put it in there, because when Africa grows, we're the next big frontier. We don't seem to get it, but people outside of Africa have and they're coming with fire. So please, our executive producer, Emmanuel Sorogo, wow, it takes a big gun to bring him on here. And he says, great job, guys. Well done. Thank you so much.
Can I make a point? Can I make a quick point on Africa? I mean, by 2035, the African continent will have the youngest population, about 40%, will be below the age of 30.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we will have, our population will exceed China, the whole of Europe, the US, and so on.
Wow.
Now, what you need to understand is that having a population that size doesn't necessarily equate talent.
Yes.
Okay, the fact that you have those numbers of youth, it just represents latent potential. You've got to work it. You've got to cure it. You've got to you got to sweat that asset out,
Mm-hmm.
and you do that by providing them with education, with skills,
Yes.
and preparing them to be relevant, because you must be hiding under a rock if you haven't seen the implications of AI and what it's doing. Now, the competition is not going to be with the AI. The competition is with people that understand
How it works.
So we need more software developers. You need programmers. You need machine learning specialists, IoT, and so on. And really, for most African countries, we haven't knelt down to be part of the race.
No.
And what drives us, well, for me, is making sure that we have the support systems in place to build we're building a pipeline of talent.
Yes.
Bottom line. We're building a pipeline of talent.
Wow.
Thank you.
That is incredible. That's incredible. And so we're about to sign off, Richard. I have a personal question for you. I know Mauritania was not your favorite. That's like hands down. Shoot, it's not my favorite either now. I'll still try to brave it just to see what it looks like. But which one was your favorite in all of this? Which one did you thoroughly enjoy? And why would you say that? I want you to tell me a story about it.
Yeah, it has to be Dakar. Because in Dakar we stopped. We had a whole day. But even the 1.5 days we spent in Dakar wasn't enough for me to unearth and experiences. It's like New York for me. I'm always rushing through New York, and I really want to come and deal with New York in a month. Do all the jazz bars and the Greenwich villages and so on. I'm like always breezing through New York. But I need to go back to Dakar and experience it. So Dakar was fantastic for me. I've always wanted to do Marrakesh and Casablanca. Again, we just breezed through. Mali, Bamako, from my days when I used to trade petroleum, I was in and out of that place for many months and years. So I know Bamako fairly well. But it's got to be Dakar on top of my list, because at least a day and a half to appreciate the place. But I have unfinished business with Dakar, Marrakesh, and Casablanca.
Casablanca. Oh my God. The moment you said Casablanca, I thought about a movie, which I will not mention here. But of course, everybody everybody knows that movie. If you're a movie buff, at least you know it. Our producer Elsie, she says Richard Anim and Kwabena Peprah will be chief navigators, and all roads lead to South Africa. Listen.
Yes, we're planning a Cape Town. We're planning a Cape Town trip. What do you call it? Next year, God willing, with our niece and Bucks. What do you call it? Willing, and we really need the grace of God and the budgets.
Yes.
It's no I'm struggling.
It's no small feat.
It's not a joke.
It's not a joke.
Not a joke. Yes.
You need a lot. I thought about all the, we're human beings, so there's a lot of things that we have to go through just by being human. All the maybe medical issues that may be going on in the background for a cross section of people going through the deserts and the highways and all of that, trudging all of your stuff, your equipment, your gadgets. It's a lot. Okay, so
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of
work. So ideally, yes, you've got to be in tip-top physical.
Yes.
So for some of us who haven't walked or run in like
in years.
What do you call it? That's you. I remember I had to take up swimming and boxing and all sorts of things to do that. Not this trip, Kilimanjaro. We still couldn't finish. We couldn't even still finish climbing it. Despite all our, what do you call it?
The planning and training.
It's but long distances, we're doing about 1,000 kilometers a day. We'll stop briefly, answer, nature's call, leaving our DNA scattered across
all across
Africa.
And
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, there's nothing. I mean, options in terms of cho food is some way. So plantain chips and groundnuts and water. Those long French baguettes that are so hard on your teeth.
Oh,
Yeah,
you got that with
and
some water.
yeah, you got to
Mix
top
it
it up
with
and move
some
along.
groundnuts.
Yeah,
Oh
you got to
goodness.
top. But I think next time I have to give shout outs to the Mali. There was an honorable consul in Mali who hosted us for dinner when we got to Bamako, and then now so this is another reason why I get upset with the Rosso guys. Um, the honorable consul prepared fufu for us at 1 o'clock, and you are released at 8 o'clock.
Oh my God.
And another 3 hours to get into Nouakchott from the border. When we got there was this fufu and banku with two different soups. Nobody
Which kind
sat.
of soup was that? Which kind of soup?
There was a turkey. What's it called? Is it grilled turkey? It's not grilled. What was it? Smoked turkey. Smoked turkey.
Oh yes, that.
Smoked turkey peanut butter soup. We call it groundnut soup, but you people in America call it peanut butter soup. And light soup. Fufu that has been staying since 1 o'clock.
It's not one fufu.
Nobody has time to analyze texture and whatever. No due diligence on the fufu. We just knocked it out.
Wow.
And for the first time on that trip, I probably was able to sleep a full 8 hours.
Wow.
I'm naturally don't sleep the maximum 3-4 hours. I'm up. But for the first time, the stress, the tedium, I mean, the whole thing, and the fufu was a nice, what do you call it? So the honorable consul, Felix Hatto, brilliant guy, a phenomenal guy. He's got Mauritania as desolate. It's like a scene out of where Lucifer took Jesus to the mountain.
Oh God!
That kind of scene, that desert kind of wilderness kind of experience. Yeah, that's how it looks like.
Wow.
And despite that environment, people are there's a thing about economics where chaos theory, people thrive in chaos. Okay,
yes.
For certain people to thrive.
Yes.
So prices will never ever be. I mean, the demand supply curves don't. What do you call it? It's nonsense in those spaces. So, but Felix Hatto is an entrepreneur. He's been there for 17 years. He runs one of the biggest fish producing companies. He exports fish to even Ghana and most of West African countries. I'm a multi-millionaire. In that, I think you should do a story with him one of these days.
Yes, please.
No. He was one of those immigrants that were doing the walk, what you got, to Libya, and for some strange reason, he ended up in Mauritania, and then decided to stay gradually, and he's built a phenomenal multi-million.
Oh my God!
In spaces of desolation and what you call it, there's some roses that can emerge.
That is incredible.
Yeah. Elsie, Bible came inside. I dropped out of Bible school twice. Yeah.
I can win in a novena.
By now, I would have been, I don't know, a mini obinim or something.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
wow.
So that's our story.
Yeah, one of us.
Guys crossed over. We parted in, and I had to leave. I flew from Casablanca back to Accra and Joburg. I'm in Joburg now. But the guys crossed over to Spain, Barcelona. Did the to Dr. Bampo's.
Yes.
Bampo in
oh my God. We
couldn't send them to another fufu. I think that was the second fufu they had. The Ghana High Commission in Rabat. I think because of timing, they gave us McDonald's, but it's okay. I mean,
it's all good.
We won't hold it against them that the Ghana High Commission is serving as Mickey D instead of food.
You know what? it's economics, okay? It's all there. It's somewhere in there.
I think it was timing. It was
Yes.
timing as well. It was. Yeah, so
Wow.
they crossed over Spain, Barcelona, Switzerland. I think they were in Calais, and then on Sunday
Yes.
they crossed over to
London.
they are stars and celebrities in London. Wells.
Yes.
Well, some of us grinding our knuckles and working our fingers to the bone in the salt mines. Those guys.
This is why I am saying I still can't get off the fact that somebody, for those of you who've been following Wanderlust Ghana, I love that page so much. There's so much story in there. The Chaluote made it. Those of you who know,
that Chaluote got taught. It came. It got us. It encountered this Waterloo.
Yes.
In Western Sahara. We're looking for a nail or some whatever to.
Or like a safety pin.
Safety pin to.
Safety pin.
Adjust it, but
I know.
I decided to carry on with that. I got a shade. I don't know if you saw it, but I got a shade on one of the platforms. I was being interviewed, and I just rushed out from the mall in a t-shirt. What do you call it? And the guy was like, this guy with his specs and t-shirt, he'll be stingy. You are.
I did see that. I almost brought that up, but I was like, you know what?
No, come on, it's all part of the banter. Listen, all of us on the trip.
My goodness.
We have a good laugh. I mean, we take the piss. We're guys. Bottom line, still very local room schoolboy. Boarding school type kind of environments. We always there was always one or two guys that we'll pick on a trip.
Right.
So woe to you if you become one of those guys.
Oh God.
And we had one perfect for this trip.
Yes, that's so incredible. So Uncle Coffee Show, thank you so much. He just brought up the tourism angle of this
Absolutely.
trip, and I thought we would touch on it just real quick before we have to leave.
Yeah, I think for most people traveling across Africa, so the first choice is usually air.
Yeah.
Several people also travel by road, but it'll be good to also curate these experiences.
Yes.
We have a list of hotels we've stayed in. Again, the good, the bad, and ugly. There was one that we got to that, honestly, the boys went to Kwame and Kwabena, didn't tell me, but they went to sleep in the car. And
wow.
This is one of those rooms that the bed in there, whatever, it's like it makes your skin crawl. I mean, and it was across. I've forgotten the name of the nondescript place. But yeah, so for the tourism part, the hotels, the route. If you're driving, what is your budget for what do you call laissez-passer? Your budget for fuel.
Fuel, because I heard
diesel
and
the diesel performed extremely well, but the petrol guy was drinking it like I don't know. I mean, it's like and there was a part of Western Sahara to Morocco, to Agadir, when we entered. These are plains, and the wind speeds acted as what do you call it? They were resistant. It was like air resistance. And as the cars are struggling to move, you're burning petrol. Like, I mean, an average fill a day, if we didn't have any issues, maybe 2.5 times. But on that stretch, we filled up, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times. Yeah, so you've got to factor that in your budget. It was kind of interesting. So yeah, food, restaurants, hotels, cars, spares for your cars. Well, Kwabena Peprah has an Excel spreadsheet with everything on there.
Man, I'm jonesing to see that spreadsheet.
He won't. I am going to monetize that spreadsheet.
Come on, yes, let's do it.
And offer master classes from Accra to London. You know, the capitalist in me, I always have to.
Hey.
I always have to make a quick
some money. Yeah, but rightly so though, because you didn't just sit up and go on Google, grab some data and put it on a spreadsheet. You did that, but you also did the route.
Yeah.
So there is backing to it. And so if you're giving experience, they say is the best teacher, but I also think that experience is the best money maker, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, there is even a guru boy at Mauritania, even though he wasn't influential in when we had our issues. He called somebody at the Moroccan border, another guru boy, who turns up at the car, shows us a picture of us. Says, "Didn't you guys come from Mauritania?" Yes. There's a guy there who's told me to look after you crossing to Morocco.
Oh, wow.
But of all the borders, Morocco was the smoothest.
Come on.
We had e-visas, $80. It's interesting that even at the Moroccan border, the immigration guys were not quite familiar with e-visas. I think it's a new thing that they started, but it quickly jumped on their desktops and quick research, called a few people and everything. And they just breezed us through.
Wow.
We scanned the cars.
Wow.
And Morocco, as close to Europe as it is, looks and feels like an European city. Yeah, I mean the amenities and everything were super. But yeah, I just have to find the bandwidth and time to do Marrakesh and Casablanca.
You know what? I think you put it on the one. I think it's time to create a Wanderlust wish list, and then we just curate people and grab people.
We need a portable fufu. We need a portable fufu making machine on our trip.
See, now that's where EdTech comes in, right there.
Yeah, and also canned soup or soup that lasts beyond the 7 days. I don't know, a mini fridge or something.
I hope that people are listening, all these creatives. But for those of you who shop a lot on platforms like Amazon, you do realize that most of the things that you get, especially if they are gadgets, is literally something that was created by maybe a 9-year-old person somewhere in Asia, you know, and they sell it off and you get to use it and it's great. So a portable fufu making machine that kind of grinds it. This is something one of the students in one of your EdTech classrooms can literally whip up. If again, what were the words?
Fufu produced by AI.
Exactly. We would not say no to it. Shoot, I'm here. I would want it because now we do fufu in the most incredible way in America. Is ridiculous. So I'll take a machine, please. Yes, dehydrated punching cracker, and you just add hot water, Indomie style.
Absolutely, absolutely. They were good to go.
You have your friend is say your goat meat and whatever all in there already. Listen, we'll buy it. Yes, reduce the Washington to Accra fares. Otherwise, we're driving home. Listen, I so appreciate you just stopping by and sharing with us. Again, we were hoping that we'd get the whole team here, but
let's keep the conversation going. I am sure at some point in time when they get back to Ghana when the dust settles, I'm sure we can organize a chat.
Another one. Yes, absolutely. Now, this young man, I just really wanted to highlight, and then we'll be done. You guys have the QR code. You know where to go to do the donation. Don't slack on it. Even if you don't have the money, send it to your friends who have money. You know what I mean? Send it to your fathers and your mothers and all that, and let them invest in this. But this young man here just kind of gave me a whole vibe.
Oh, Quincy.
You know, cute. He has just had an experience of a lifetime he will never, ever be able to come back from.
Absolutely.
And I just hope that he keeps going.
Absolutely. By the way, those headphones were on his head all throughout.
I can imagine.
I spent 10 days with him, and they crossed over in Europe and got to London in 6 days, or England in 6 days. But those he had a very nice T-shirt on that had the inscription "I love my girlfriend."
Oh,
Yeah, and we're like, okay, until she breaks your heart. And she was like, no, it's not going to happen. I said, okay, we shall see.
Well, you're still young. The young shall grow, right? But
no, but Quincy's phenomenal. He got along with us, all the songs, all the not so nice songs that I can't repeat over here. The drama sessions.
Oh God!
I mean, speaking pidgin with us. I mean, no, he's a real G.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Too much sauce. But definitely congratulations to Quincy. We just wanted to highlight him and say one day we'll have him on just to see his perspective from a teenager's.
He's in George Mason. He's going to be in George Mason. I think he's flying back, or he's either flown back already. I think he flew from London back to so he may just be getting into. I'll see what I can do.
We can have Quincy just to see his perspective.
That'll be good. It'll be good to get his perspective as well.
Yes.
Hanging out with these old men behaving badly.
Do you know there's a British TV show called that, Men Behaving Badly?
Absolutely, I remember that.
I forget his name now, but this funny guy. But you guys were not just behaving badly; you were behaving goodly in an incredible way. I want to take time out to kind of just say thank you. One, to Richard. All I did was send you a message. It's such an honor to be able to do that with you. Just send a message and say, boss, I have an opening. What's up? And you show up. I want to say thank you for that. It was very easy. It was seamless. I don't take it for granted.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me.
Great. This was great for all of you who kind of jumped on the bandwagon and pushed this. For all of you in London who welcomed the incredible explorers that came in from Africa, we want to say thank you. Yes, you do need a visa to be able to do this. So please, don't just get in the car.
Did you see that one where the guy said, somebody posted that to go to what you call, you need a visa. And the guy said, oh, I'm in Suhum, I'm turning back.
Listen, there's so many words that people use to describe you. What is TP and what is LL? I've always been curious.
LL is Lolo, it's just love. LL is love. TP is tight paddy. That's my tight paddy, Juliet. We go back many years.
I get it now.
Many years, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Then I think I should start saying
depending on the target markets, people call me different things. And the latest one is
I'll say big boss. Richard.
The latest one is the stingy guy in a not so nice what do you call it, t-shirt.
Oh God, you know what? We'll wear the t-shirt, all of us.
I need to do a crowd fund, what do you call it, for a new spectacles and t-shirt.
You know what? People will definitely put
no, joking.
Yeah. But
all right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you, sir. But just before you leave, I wanted to kind of write on your back and to say through you, thank you to Dr. Victor Bampo, who made Geneva an incredible stay for all of the people that were there. We saw the pictures. It was incredible. He was almost like the envoy in Geneva.
Absolutely.
Kind of welcoming them. To all of the high commissioners in all of the African countries that you guys visited, I wanted to also personally say thank you to contributing to the storytelling adventure that Wanderlust just had, to Kwabena Peprah, everyone there, Shecanic, all of you guys, Quincy, thank you for being bold. Thank you for being adventurous. Thank you for saying yes, because through you, there is so much hope. We know it can be done with a lot of planning. Yes, Uncle Fisher, you're right. Hospitality King Kong, like
absolutely.
Primo. That guy is on a whole different level all by himself.
Absolutely.
And I just wanted to say thank you. For those of you who were saying that these guys were spies, I mean, look at them. You see all that boundary they've got going on. They've got so much James Bondery going on. But
yes, spies, 07. In fact, they should buy me an Aston Martin just to compete.
Hey, and get you all the mixings of the drinks, and then you'll figure it out.
I tell them, look, I drive a Micra, my mom's Micra. They should buy me an Aston Martin.
But I feel like for you, that micro no cry is on purpose. But you, it's okay. I won't go there. It's okay. We will not go there. Yes. So now that we've talked about this African spirit, I wanted to take time to say thank you to Mr. EKD, who has graciously just jumped on to help to my younger self go on to a different level by sponsoring us. We just want to say thank you, Opulence Realty Group. Thank you so much, Real Estate. Thank you so much. They're licensed in North Carolina, but they work with outfits and buyers worldwide. Listen, Richard, we must probably connect these two, Kwabena Peprah and Mr. EKD. You never know. International real estate is a thing, and these guys can do incredible things together. Solid.
I mean, these guys have their properties on the market that they're looking to shift. If they can work with the aspirants too.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So thank you so much, Mr. EKD. We wanted to take time to say a special shout out to you, to all of our sponsors, those of you who send us donations every month, Jane Fiorito, Auntie B, Auntie Araba, there's just so many of you we cannot mention, but we see you and we're very, very grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're always telling you, put your money where your heart is, or put your mouth where your heart is. There's so many African companies we want you to just patronize, okay? You saw a bunch of people come together, business owners, and do a whole expedition across Africa through into Europe. Patronize them. If you're looking for a home, reach out to the Blade, okay? There's just so many of them. If you're looking for a proper professor who knows EdTech inside out, there he is. BB himself, I'm gonna just start calling him Big Boss, BB Richard Anim himself. Reach out to him and he will just kind of show you the ropes. There's so much Africa has to offer, so many stories in there, and we want you to jump on and just be a part of the story, because again, in about 20 years, you're gonna cry that you didn't do the right thing by jumping on. You know what I mean? Next week, we're shooting all over to South Africa. We'll be talking with 2911 group leader, Brandon. And so do not miss it. This is an incredible musician, lyricist, and he has such a powerful story to share. You do not want to miss it, okay? Boss, is there anything you want to share with us before we kind of jump?
No. We've done this. We have highlighted a course. All is left to do is just for you guys to support the cause, spread the word. I think that's all we can ask for.
Yes.
Now, thank you very much for having us.
No problem at all. Thank you so much, boss. And we will just kind of see you in the green room before we kind of sign off. Guys, my name is Zoe Baraka. The show has been To My Younger Self. As always, it's been such a pleasure just hanging on with you and just being, talking about a great experience. Who knows? You will see me and some members on the South African trip. Again, my name is Zoe Baraka. Signing off on To My Younger Self. We'll see you next week. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
So Timbuktu, Ghana, Mali, Sumanguru, you know what you're shown. What you're shown. So Timbuktu, Ghana, Mali, Sumanguru, you know what you're shown. Manchester, you know Sumanguru, you know what you're shown.